Typical Georgia New Year's Eve. Not cold, just yuck, dreary, drizzle, foggy. Very foggy. So, had to walk up to open the gate. I forgot to latch it, so I'm having to walk back. Need to make sure it stays open, doesn't blow. So, found some deer tracks while I was up here. I think they're pretty cool. Sometimes the deer sleep in there, and we have another place that they sometimes will spook them up. But this is the front of our property, so just have to. Up in here is the front part of our property. This is the big paddock that we have. We try to let them just graze on it every so often. We rotate them out. But what I think is the interesting part of our property is it wraps around a cemetery. My kids think it's weird that I think cemeteries are cool, but it's pretty interesting. So our property goes around there and wraps around the cemetery and down. Heidi and Pistol. Pistol's a little more inquisitive. Heidi's our old girl, so Pistol's probably gonna come over and maybe let me pet her. Nope, I don't have any carrots, babe. Sorry, no carrots today. Maybe later. I have to go to the grocery store and get some though. Hello, Heidi. So yes, this is the first paddock that we put in because we were trying to get our animals moved off of our old property because we had them in the back of our old house. So as soon as we bought this property, this is the first paddock that we put in. It when we first moved here, it was knee-high and ryegrass. It was absolutely beautiful. Still pretty, except they really eat it up. We try to take them off of it now and let it grow back. We planted some grass. Okay, I've got an entourage walking with me now. And here comes Dixie walking up. And Susie Q, who thinks she's a horse. She loves being with the horses. Everybody always told us a single goat's lonely. Well, I don't think Susie's lonely. She has 4 horses to hang out with. She has the cow down there who's being really loud this morning. She goes and visits the chickens and the rabbits and plays with the dogs. So, here's another view of our big paddock. This is also where we park our trailer. That camper was in someone's yard and they were not going to do anything with it. So Tim got it for me. It's perfect on the outside. We've got to fix the floor and everything, but it's going to be a place that we can let people come and stay with us. Or either it's going to be my art studio. Can't decide. Haven't decided yet. But we do have to put a new floor in it. But it actually does look pretty good. There's not really, any damage to the outside, not any rust. It's just the floor must have had water damage at some point because the floor did rust out. So there's a couple of screens that need fixing, but not much. What's left of our pallets, he's used them to build the raised beds, so we have to get more pallets. House. Our favorite summer spot is right here. Spring, summer, fall, pretty much in Georgia, whenever it's nice. This is our swing. We have another one. It's put up. We have 2 swings. And then picnic table. This is our most prolific producer pecan tree. We've gotten close to probably about 300 pounds, 200, well, maybe 200 pounds, I may be exaggerating, off of that tree. It's one of the things that sold us on this property is I love these trees. But all along this tree line right here was overgrowth, really overgrown, lots of shrub, lots of underbrush. It was just along this tree. It was a tree line. It was an old fence line. And so we kept moving the goat pen. We would temporarily put them up the T-post, let them and move them for about a month. We'd leave them in each area a month and they would clean it out. They cleaned out all underneath those trees over there. At the time we had 2. They cleaned out all of this area down here And that's where Indy is over there. That's the size pen we would put them in. And we just moved them. It worked really well. We didn't have to do all the hard work of cleaning out the underbrush. But yeah, there's the yurt. Hay, our hay storage, which seems to, they have all figured out how to get into it if they're in this pasture in front of the house, which we're working on a gate up there at the top to make sure that they don't get onto the house area. That's our 100-gallon gas tank. We use that mostly just, that's what we use for heating. We store everything under the yurt. Anything that needs to be kept out of the rain gets stored underneath the yurt. Here is the raised beds. We've been using this dirt hill. This is from where they dug the septic tank. A friend of ours dug the septic tank, and we asked him just to, instead of spreading the dirt out, just to leave it. And so we've been using it to help fill the raised beds, and then adding manure and layering it up with hay, bedding, manure, and dirt, just because the animals do get out here. So here's what one looks like before anything has been put in it. You can check out my Instagram stories on how he was building this. We're putting in limbs at the bottom of our raised beds, like this. Anything that falls, any wood. Basically, we're filling it full of these broken limbs, and then filling it with dirt. The limbs will end up heating the soil as they decompose. We're putting lots of compost in the bottom. Basically, they're all compost heaps. It's how I did it at our old house, which is basically lasagna gardening in that respect. It's paper, dirt, manure, hay, leaves, grass. But in the bottom of every one of these beds, because they are made with plastic, we're going to put a few drain holes in the bottom so that the water does not sit in them. But with all the limbs in them, it actually acts as a way that the water doesn't really, they don't sit in water. But in the Georgia heat and drought, I don't think we're going to have a problem with too much water in these raised beds. Our biggest problem is making sure there's enough. So he's still got more wood over here underneath this tarp to work with. We've also thought about running some of this through our planer and making it thinner pieces and using it in the house or doing whatever. But see, it's pretty thick. It's about a ½ inch thick. Some of it's thicker, but it works really well for this project, and I really love my raised beds. This was my Christmas present. That's what I asked for. I said, I don't want you to go buy me anything. Just use what you have and make me some raised beds. So there's gonna be, so far, there's 4. The small one I'm probably gonna use for potatoes. And then he'll have me 4 big ones. We hope to, by the time planting season comes along, to have 8 of these raised beds.